So we are here at Stagwell Sport Beach 2024. I'm very excited to speak with Carmen, Vice President of Marketing at Qualcomm. We do a lot of work together, pretty fun work. Why don't we just start off, how are we transforming marketing at Qualcomm?
Yes. Well, actually, our partners at Stagwell and Code and Theory are very important to us in our transformation journey for marketing at Qualcomm. So I've been there for about 2 years now, and under the leadership of Don McGuire, we have set to really support the business initiatives, and that is diversification of our business profile. So we're traditionally known as a mobile phone technology enabler, but we do so much more than that as Qualcomm. And so what we actually did is a whole assessment to determine how and who we needed to go after. And as a B2B company, we chose to go after developers. And we just actually, a little over a month ago, launched our brand new developer digital experience. And in that, we're working in that process to bring the best of what is Qualcomm to the forefront for developers. We want to be their place of choice. And we have a lot of really cool technology that we brought forward in that process, all through working with Code and Theory to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting place right now. Obviously, AI is not talked about enough, clearly, definitely not even at Cannes. But, you know, targeting developers, I think what's interesting is right now there isn't enough talk about use cases. And why don't we talk a little about use cases and what's happening with Qualcomm and moving from the cloud to local devices? Like, can you give some insight into that? Because I think that's really where creativity is happening.
Yes, so that is a really important area as far as on-device AI that Qualcomm helps to enable. And there are two specific use cases that I would talk about our technology bringing that to life. One is something that's actually launching tomorrow across the PC ecosystem, and that is Qualcomm is enabling on-device AI through the PCs and through Microsoft Copilot as the exclusive Copilot Plus enabler. And in that process, the huge part of why developers matter in that is they have to learn to create applications and be able to develop on our technology in order to bring on-device AI forward. And so our digital experience helps to do that, but also all the other programs that we have for that technology really helping to market and let people know about Qualcomm's here and what we have to be able to be offer with our strong OEM partners. And we have the biggest OEM partners in the PC business, from HP, Dell, Lenovo, and our lovely partner Samsung in that process. So it's really exciting. All those things launch tomorrow. And then the other thing I would say is on-device AI is connected also with more the Internet of Things and the ability for processing power to actually happen locally and not in the cloud. And it's really important around those elements because it helps manage the scale that AI can actually be utilized at. And it also, in both the PC example and the Internet of Things example that I gave, helps protect privacy and data and information. And so through the processing power with really low battery and all that power it can bring, it really helps to bring AI to the edge, not just happening in the cloud as people are mostly experiencing it today.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons the average person hasn't felt the impact as much as we're talking about it. Mm-hmm. It's specifically those use cases bring into them, obviously having a privacy-first approach to it, a technology approach that actually makes it useful. Because, you know, I think we both agree the future of AI is not just chatbots.
Yes.
Like that's most of what we see now is chatbots versus use cases that actually develop a presence for humans to exist. And I know Qualcomm, I believe, believes in that idea that let's bring it to people in ways that humans actually engage, not just a chatbot that exists in the world.
Yes, so in our workforce, and if we think about it even from our marketing perspective, there's been a lot of talk about how does AI going to impact the creativity and workflow? And an important concept is we keep hearing a lot about this assistant, but I can tell you from our teams utilizing AI and our own marketing teams at Qualcomm, being an AI company, we know about the risks and the benefits of AI. We've been implementing it for over 10 years. Our legal teams know what it is. Our IT teams know what it is. And so we actually developed a process that we would select what AI technology we would use because we want our employees to be able to use it. And through that process, we can really see the benefits of how the mundane tasks, it really helps people level up their work and enhance the ability for them to layer on creativity in those places and get the mundane tasks out of the way so they can focus on really the strength of what we provide in it from a human perspective. And to be able to do that on device is so powerful because it's much faster, it's quicker to the work as well as the privacy, and the processing power is just amazing. So you're going to see a lot of that with even video editing and the ability to do that via really cool tools in that spectrum. And the more and more applications that are coming out. Our friends at Adobe have fantastic applications, but you're going to see a lot of those move into a hybrid on-device and in the cloud scenario. And it also helps with the environment too, because the data centers really do pull a lot. But it's just that processing power that people are really going to get excited about.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I think it's the new golden era of creativity, actually, when you start to reframe the way you think. Switching gears, marketing in general is changing dramatically. And very specifically, B2B marketing is changing. What do you see trends happening in the B2B marketing space that Qualcomm is really leaning into?
So B2B marketing at times sometimes feels like the stepchild to consumer marketing. But any of us who operate in this space actually know it's a really complex and really fun and interesting space because you get to understand many more different profiles and you get to engage in different ways to help the success of the business. So we gave the developer example, right? So I can give you a stat after we did a Microsoft Build announcement of our AI technology. The dev kit was actually focused and promenaded on stage from the CEO. In that process, all of our pre-orders sold out astronomically compared to what we would have had before. That's hitting at one market. And then one persona use case scenario, but all that's needed to get to the next place. And so really understanding all the different parts of that journey. So then we layer on a commercial campaign. And in commercial, then we actually have to look at who is the IT decision maker, but at the same time, how do you create pull through what is that broader audience method that is out there? And that's where our branding comes in. And so you get all these amazing layers in B2B marketing that you don't necessarily get in the other. And you get them in new and different ways. So when you look at like the core of it's got to work, that's us messaging to developers and marketing that way, to IT decision makers to help select a product, to building the brand with something that we're going to even hear about here today on stage at Sport Beach, which is our Manchester United partnership, which is, an amazing deal that we have to help drive affinity for the Snapdragon brand. So in that, you see the whole profile of what is B2B marketing. And it's has all elements of the sexiness that consumer does, and even potentially a little more intellectual play in it as you have all the different markets.
I'd even go further and say it's also more innovative. Consumer marketing, I think, sometimes gets a bit lazy with like the media platforms that you can execute on, versus B2B marketing has to understand the complexity of longer decision making. It's not just, I have an idea, there's an emotional way you connected to me, so I'm buying it. There's this long arc of decision making. And also oftentimes the decision maker isn't just one person.
No.
So understanding how to support the decision maker to mobilize their organization to move forward. And that's where I really think what Qualcomm is doing, and just in generally B2B marketing, actually has this opportunity that is really pushing the entire market forward, versus years ago it used to be B2B marketers following the consumer marketing. And I think actually we've hit an inflection point where actually it's been reversed.
Yes, and the cool thing is, like, when we actually have the ability to enable our sales teams to land big deals, these are big deals. And to see our technology come to life in other people's products, just I mentioned all the PC OEM manufacturers, or even our modules and parts that we do for IoT, and understanding all the places that exists, it is just significant, and it's actually very inspiring for the work. Our marketing teams get a lot of power and passion out of that work. So.
Yeah, it's incredible. Okay, I'm going to go for this last question. I want to think into the future because I know you have big ideas on this. Let's talk about 5 years, because obviously the industry, especially within AI, is moving quicker than anybody can imagine. So let's go future facing. What do you think what is AI going to mean in 5 years? How will it affect us both from a business perspective and a consumer perspective?
So if I put one thing in there, I believe we will create AI and take it to the place where people really learn to trust it and can utilize it themselves to help us become better of who we are. So if you think about the comparison to the music industry, there's acoustic music that's beautiful, sounds amazing, but so is there electronic music. The ability to produce and do all that electronically has taken taken it to all new heights. I think that's what AI is going to help us all be able to do, is go to places that we never knew were possible before, whether it's our business, how we run it, how we market, or how we choose to create as people, but then also ease our daily life. So I think the word I would put out there is, AI will become something that we all trust in order to become the better self that we all want to be.
I totally agree. And through Qualcomm's help, it will be embedded in all our different devices in ways that, as we talk a lot about, anticipates our needs, wants, or desires. It will be there to help us be those superhumans in the safe possible way. So I agree. And thank you for joining us at Cannes Sport Beach, Stagwell Sport Beach. And thank you for continuing to work with Code and Theory too.
You're very welcome.